kuyakanaka aski arumakipanaya mayampi kutan kapkarikitano aka Aruskipt'asipxañanakasakipunirakispawa ay uka wakichawiro aski numpuni arktani prestaja hichuroja hilanaka kuyakanaka walhaninaka usapje humanaka Aymaras palaptaja Aymarakisa Aymaras yatiphatataja asapja hichuro yantayan sa sasipta Ingles aruta hisa Ingles aru wali yakat sa usapje a ver yantayan ni kumakao kanipuni uintan kharakstan Ingles palasin kota kana panin kuyakampio Aruskipt'anyani aksanaja Zayuri Lozamp no Zayuri Lozamp hisa Remedios Lozamp is amtasiptati Carlos Palenque Avilés amtasiptati hisa kuyakana kun hanis tumanaka nat kabiyatipta Remedios Lozamp kamaraki Carlos Palenquin wawapau Zayuri Lozamp uintaphatao kamaraki aksanja Leina Segales Bautista no paja inglés yatichiri na kama ni patung maranaka hetani tungkaps kan maranaka ko uintasipta no yatichiri kasina no paja inglés laki yatiskan churunja irptaski wa maya tekan utana. So today we are going to talk in English, as I mentioned in Aymara, because the world and Bolivians and in different countries, people want to know what Aymara people think. And so today we invited to, culturally we say daughters, right? We say daughters. And so Zayuri Lozamp, who studied history and now is the director of Archivo de la Memoria Histórica of RTP, for Channel 4. And so on the other side we have Leina Segales Bautista, who is an English teacher and current principal in a school of El Alto, which called Iberdrola, right? Iberdrola, Unidad Educativa Iberdrola. Right. Okay. So, could you, Zayuri, greet in Aymara as well as in English?
Paisuma Ruben, Wali Kusisipta, Humampi, Kuyaka Leinampi, Leina, Kuyaka Leinampi, Hayukamaraki, Tahpacha Unchukirinakataki, Tahpacha Nakataki, Mahach Akhomantawi, Masuma Aruntawi, San Munta. Naya wali kusisitapa akahilata Ruben chapararuna capa wali pune guskito kamaraki paisuma Ruben paisuma Leina parlañani con jamás Aruskip'asipxañanakasakipunirakispawa ukamaka suma wakichawi ukatsti parlañani. Let's talk, my friends.
Thank you, and welcome Zayuri Lozamp to Cell TV. Leina, aruntasñani a little bit in English también.
Aski arumakipanaya kuyakanaka hilatanaka nayan sutehak Leina satadwa nayaj yatichiridwa kusisidwa ukakiwa Ruben. No, I'm going to speak in English too.
Right.
Greetings for everyone.
Oh, greetings, yes, especially to Iberdrola school.
Yeah, greetings for my high school. Yeah, it's Iberdrola B, and a special greeting for my teachers and for my students too.
Very good. And so also welcome Leina to the program Aruskipt'asipxañanakasakipunirakispawa. That's the longest word in Aymara, which means all together we should be constantly communicating each other. And so the world should know this channel, which is called Cell TV, is located in El Alto City. And so in El Alto City, most people have Aymara roots. And so today the first question is we are going to ask Zayuri about your background. Zayuri, what's your background? And so if you have the Aymara root, and so how, and could you explain to the audience?
Of course. Although my father is Caucasian, he's Carlos Palenque. He is a big personality right now in history for Bolivia. And he's my father, and he gave me his culture, his Occidental culture, his Western culture, which I love and appreciate a lot, because I myself feel like I'm some sort of frontier identity. But my mother was an Aymara woman. My roots are Aymara by that side. And she meant a lot to me because I learned everything from her, from my grandmother and from my grandmother. And they were pretty much into Aymara traditions. I started my life living as an Aymara kid because we used to talk Aymara the whole time. That was our main language. We were talking Aymara at home, and then someone came, and then we changed to talk in Spanish. But then it was every day in Aymara, the songs in Aymara. And she even used to punish me in Aymara. And it was great. I used to have a very nice childhood, which I adore, and I think that is why I never want to leave my Aymaran roots, because they remind me of my childhood, of my grandmother. She used to pray in Aymara. Nanaka is very loud every Saturday and every Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And I was there like, all right, let me sleep, please. But
early in the morning.
Early, yeah. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And she used to be praying and then telling us how we used to take care of the animals, the uiwas. And then she would talk about the ceremonies and what we should do in Anata festival, which is the carnival, and what we should do in Christmas. We used to make the little animals because they remind us our illas. And the traditions kept alive, but combined with things like, as I said, carnival, but with the Anata, Christmas, but with the other traditions of the illas, and even the food. And I loved it, and so I grew up like that. And even though I had the opportunity to change, I didn't really want to, because I love it. I love the way Aymaras see the world. I think that this is the animistic way of seeing it, because we think everything has a soul, and I love it. I think that is what we need right now, because we think this is just an object, this is just an animal, this is nothing, we're just flesh and bone, and it doesn't matter. But the idea the Aymaras have that everything has a soul takes you to think of taking care of things, taking care of your chair, of your environment, of the animals that live with you, the water, the sun. And so I love it. And then, well, as I said, even when I lived outside in Japan, I lived there, and I noticed how they lived their spirituality. They didn't forget their roots. And even though they live very modernly and in big buildings and stuff, they still believe exactly, and the sounds and the music and the technology, and they're like the robots and all of it. But they didn't forget their roots. They still believe in they're all gods.
Oh yeah.
And so you say, if they have that, they believe in their spirits of the forest or the water. For instance, they have kappa, they have tengu, they have isumboshi, they have yukiona. They are the woman and the snow woman. The tengu is a little is some sort of monk, and the isumboshi is a small man who's working in the water, and kappa is some sort of turtle with a plate in his head, and so you got to put a cucumber there, or he'll kill you. And so you got to be with your cucumber, and they believed in it. And I said, we are Aymaras have the same thing, because we have the anchanchos.
Exactly.
We also get the mekala, the acayus, and all those things, and we tend to forget them because we say that is not modern, that is no, it's not good, it's just superstition.
That's from your ancestors, and centuries, or something like that.
So forget about it. Live the modern life. But I discovered that you don't have to quit anything. You can live both and be happy with both. And so I'm glad, and I always celebrate my Aymaran roots and my background, my Aymara background. I love my father's culture. I love Spanish languages. I love English language. I love Japan. I love my clothes and fashion and everything. But everything I am is because I am Aymara.
That's great.
And I'm really proud of it.
Thank you, Zayuri, and I'm glad to have you here in this program.
It's a pleasure for me.
An Aymara program, but especially this is for English-speaking people.
Because
of the world.
Aymara people can talk English too, and we just enjoy it, and we don't stop being Aymaras if we speak English or Japanese or whatever, because that's what we are.
Yes, that's the point.
Yeah.
Leina, how about your background?
All right. I'd really like to have a story like you, but my story is too different. Because I was born in La Paz. I have my father and my mother. They were born in La Paz too. But they used to tell me when I was a child that don't speak in Aymara. Why? I said because that it would be a sin to be an Aymara. They told me that I must be a miss something someday, and I have to be a professional, for example. But I grew up with that idea, so I didn't practice many things about our culture, Aymara culture, even though my grandparents are from Guaki, for example.
But mine too. We're from Guaki.
Okay, listen to Leina. Maybe you are relatives.
Maybe we're relatives, probably.
I don't know my family. And my other grandparents are from the Titicaca Lake.
Yeah.
But we never went to the town in order to enjoy, for example, the parties and the traditional events that there were. But I grew up with that idea. So my childhood was only go to the school, come back to the school. I didn't practice to the Western culture because my parents were very poor. So I grown up with an idea to be better every day, and that's why I studied and studied and studied, and I am here now in this program. But later, when in my studies, I discovered that Aymara is a wonderful culture.
Our roots.
I see my face every day in the mirror, and I think that I have that roots. I feel an Aymara woman, and I want to learn. I'm learning Aymara at the UPA. Greetings to my teacher, to my teacheri. But I'm learning. I like to sing in Aymara, even though sometimes I don't know what they mean. And my Aymara is not very good, but I try to understand and try to listen. I tried to know more about Aymara culture. That you said Illas and Espallas. I learned that in the teacher's school, for example. I learned about the Wilcacuti. I love our... Yes, I love our dances, for example. It's amazing. I love that the pronunciation. I can pronounce it very well, Aymara. If you give me a text, I can read it. But just a little bit is missing the pronunciation and fluently in Aymara.
I think it takes time, a little bit time, and so to remember as Aymaras, right?
Yes, but if someday I'm going to be a mother, I'm going to teach my sons, my daughters, my children Aymara. Because it's our culture, right? And for the discrimination, I couldn't learn my language. I couldn't learn more about my culture. But now I'm learning, and I am promoting that in my school as a director. I am teaching to the children greeting in Aymara, for example, and to not discriminate, because always there are teenagers who said, he doesn't know how to speak in Spanish because he comes from a community, he comes from a town.
They are bilingual.
They are bilingual. They are bilingual, and they need to express their language. They need to have a space in order they can feel good. To be an Aymara, for example. And I think that I'm going to recover my roots.
Yes. People who are following us and so should know that Aymaras in this city, in El Alto and in La Paz, and so we have a lot of names in La Paz city, in Aymara, and so many peoples or many families in El Alto, they have the root of Aymara or Quechua, mostly Aymara here in El Alto. And so the discrimination and exclusion and many things or like inequality and social, cultural exclusion, economic exclusion. And so some families in the past wanted to leave their roots. And so
they used to change their last names.
Yes, they changed their last names, like from Quispe or Jespi to Quispe, and from Quispe
to Espejo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Like that.
Exactly.
Yes, that's right.
Now, El Alto is the fastest growing city in Latin America. Yes, not just in Bolivia, in Latin America. And so today, so Zayuri, where do you live?
I live in El Tejar. El Tejar is 10 minutes to El Alto, so it's very close. But I also tend to go to work to Canal 4, so it is in downtown. Therefore, I'm in La Paz, but I tend to visit El Alto, which is something that we do. People from El Alto come to La Paz. People from La Paz go to El Alto.
Yes.
We're always moving.
So sometimes it's a kind of one city, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Frontiers are invented for us.
So now the question will be, so Leina, you live in El Alto?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you live in El Alto. So now the question will be for our guests, what means to be an Aymara, as Aymara, to live in La Paz City, according to your experience, Zayuri?
Well, as I've noticed, my experience is quite unique for... To be Aymara is always to be seen under the eye of discrimination.
Yeah.
We must not deny it, because it's true. Whenever you say you're Aymara, people think of stereotypes, right? Such as you're with your llama next to you, or that you come from the countryside.
Like peasants.
Exactly. And they tend to forget that we have already 6 generations of urban Aymaras who were born in El Alto, who were born in La Paz, because immigration has been a long time since the beginning of the Republic, so people tend to forget that. And there is also something I detest, that is the constant questioning to our culture. For instance, you say you're Aymara, so why are you not wearing a pollera, in my case?
Oh, yeah, that's
right?
the big question.
If your mother wore a pollera and you are not wearing a pollera, you are a desclasada.
Oh.
You are forgetting your roots. You are not Aymara. And that is something that has been told to someone as special and as important as Eva Copa, for instance. And they tell her, she is not Aymara because she's not wearing a pollera. Come on, pollera is from Spain. That is not our original outfit. But they still say it, right? Or sometimes I have friends who are Aymara, but they don't speak Aymara.
Yeah.
Because of many things, because of what Leina said. Because we had to forget, because we were forced, not forced for a law, but forced because if you don't speak Spanish, you don't get the job as easy as that. If you don't speak Spanish...
or go to universities, for example, in the 80s.
Or at least, imagine it, we have a problem, we go to the police. I only speak Aymara.
Yeah.
The policeman is not going to understand. Even when he's Aymara, or at a hospital or any other way, a lawyer is not going to talk to you if you don't speak Spanish. So it was forced. But then there comes the guys who are always hating us who say we are Aymaras, and they tell you, but you don't speak Aymara, why do you say you're Aymara? And they're like, and you wear Western clothes, why? If you're Aymara, you were supposed to use an axu. And you're like, stop it. Why are you questioning me? You are Bolivian. Nobody is going to tell you, why are you wearing this? Why are you eating this? Why are you going there? So the constant questioning tends to create a big frustration in Aymaran people. And that is why sometimes an Aymara reacts like that.
Yeah.
and sometimes they call us aggressive. You're aggressive. You hate everyone. You have a big resentment because of your roots or something like this. It's not because of that. It's because we are mad. We are sick of people telling us how Aymaras we should be.
Yeah.
They tell you an Aymara is this, and you are not.
There is not a kind of formula or
exactly,
right?
Exactly, and that is terrible because there is a bit of colonization there because they are still telling us how we are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it is terrible because it shows that we have discrimination here. But on the other side, at least for me, I have a Facebook profile where I became quite famous, a little bit famous. I have 20,000 followers.
Wow.
And
I am one of them.
Oh.
Me too.
And I think I became famous because I talk about Aymaran culture. And I talk about it with love for everyone. Because I want them to know, for the Aymaras who unhappily, unfortunately, have to forget their roots, I want to remember them, to remind them that we were this and we are doing that. And I tell them stories. And for those who are not Aymaras, well, I tell them, know us. We are not savages. We are not beasts like they call us.
Yeah.
We have literature. We have thought. We have visions.
Medicine, music.
Exactly, and I'm sure you can love it because it's beautiful and it talks about human beings, and being human beings is quite common in us. We love, we cry, we eat, and all those things are common between humans, and that is why I love your work, Ruben, because your poems show us that.
Oh, thank you.
I translated his poem a long time ago. That it was, and it came to me in a very tough time of my life because I had lost my mom, and so I felt alone.
Yeah.
And the poem was, "I'm not alone. My family are the mountains and the river and the uyuiris," and it came to me so hard that I translated it to Spanish and to English, and people heard it, and I said, "I love it too." And I said, "It came from an Aymara man," and you see, we can feel the same. Let's just forget all those things. We're proud of being Aymaras and we want to show us our culture, but stop thinking we are Menes. We're not Menes. We're just people, just as you are.
Yeah. Thank you, Zayuri. And so, in El Alto, this is El Alto, okay? As I mentioned a couple of times, that right now we are in El Alto city, right? Where is the all the population, almost all the population is Aymara, right? So what means to be Aymara in El Alto, according to your experience, Leina?
All right.
In the university and the normal, which is called Escuela Superior de Maestros, yes.
All right.
For teachers.
We are going to continue to be different stories.
Oh, yeah, probably. That's it. Yeah.
Different stories, because in El Alto to be an Aymara is grateful. You said most of people here in El Alto comes from an Aymara town. Okay. So if you speak in Aymara, you are welcome here. If you wear an Aymara clothes, you are welcome here. If you dance here, an Aymara dance, you are welcome here. Yeah, it's very common to have an aftapi here, for example, to celebrate, to initiate something, to start something, to celebrate something, to share only. That is great. Yeah, and when I was at the UPA, it was great to be there because I didn't know how to speak in Aymara, but my classmate used to teach me, Leina, you don't say this, you say this. Okay. Leina, Tahuaco, they say, no? Yeah. Tahuaco doesn't wear like this. She wears like this.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
that's okay. And I have my own wear clothes, no, Aymara clothes. And when I was at the teachers' school, it's also I need to learn in Aymara. I need to be an Aymara girl. I needed that. So I learned many things in the teachers' school, more about our cultures. I danced 4 years in the Kakuti party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In the university,
I danced once only.
Oh, once. Okay.
Yes, once.
There is another a kind of entrance of what's called in Vilcacuti, right?
Yes, in the teacher's school.
In the teacher's school, right?
Yes, in the teacher's school, and there every year there was this event.
Yeah.
But last year, no, for the pandemic.
Yes.
But every year they dance in the Vilcacuti, and I danced 4 years. It was great for me. No, and now in my work, to be an Aymara woman is very important because I need to communicate with my parents, for example. I need to communicate with the students who come from the towns, and when I imagine this, I was at the bank last year. And usually old women come to get their bone, right? And the policeman knows how to speak in Aymara, so they help all these people, all these old people, right? So it's very comfortable to be an Aymara here, and but there is discrimination too. In some neighborhoods in El Alto, to be an Aymara is a sin. In Satélite, I don't know, Villadela,
Viviendas, maybe.
Yeah.
Or including 16 de Julio sometimes.
Yes, but no, you can see in El Alto the architecture, for example. If you
Andean
go for around there, yes, there are nice buildings with Aymara signs.
Oh yes, symbol. Yeah,
The cholets.
The
cholets, for example, right? And this is very comfortable to be an Aymara here. But in La Paz, no. In La Paz, but I work in Carnavi, for example.
Oh yeah,
to be an Aymara.
That's Los Yungas, right?
Yeah, that's Los Yungas. And I work in Madre Maria Federica High School too. And one student told me, "Teacher, are you from La Paz?" Yes, I told. And yes, I noticed that in your skin. He told me that.
Great.
Yeah.
That's interesting point of view.
Yeah, but they didn't have a good social science teacher. Yeah. But I was there and I told them that discrimination is not good. As you said, Zayuri, everyone here is people. So everyone is equal. Everyone are the same, right? So it's necessary to work in that. It's too necessary, right? Only for respect, I think.
Talking about the face or about the flesh, right? Yeah, because our skin is a little bit. It's dark actually, right? It's not totally dark, but sometimes I remember about the Marcus Felipe Quispe Huanca words, like saying, even if you wash with any detergent your faces, you will be the same. Right, and so here the white supremacy, and so also in the popular saying, the people say, "Oh, hankollawa, hankollawa." No, ilas hankollas, no, la hankolla na kawali mo natin, no. Yeah, some babies who are like who have like white skin, and so they say, "Oh, this baby has white skin or something."
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. Oh no, this is dark or something like that sometimes, and so that's part of social discrimination, cultural discrimination, even linguistic discrimination, right?
Yes,
and so sometimes we Aymaras, we don't speak very well Spanish, right? And so sometimes it's a kind of Bolivia constitutionally recognize all the cultures. That's why called today plurinational, right, or like multinational or plurinational, right, country. And also, for example, the law 017 Avelino Signani, Elizardo Perez focus on bilingual and plurilingual education, right? And also today we have parliamentary representation. I would say like a huge, right, parliamentary representations with Aymara and Quechua or other indigenous roots. According to your living and studies, what's the situation of Aymara people? The situation, I mean, as I mentioned, culturally, socially, in La Paz, and so. What would you say about that parliamentarian or that parliamentaries? Yes, that parliamentaries or people who are in the parliamentary, right? And according to your experience, Zayuri.
Well, I'm pretty much against politicians. It's been an experience that the identity, the Aymara identity, the Quechua identity, has been used for political struggle. But I'm afraid that our Congress people although are indigenous, they do not do anything for the good of the indigenous people. For instance, we still have issues trying to promote the Aymaran language, the Quechua languages. There is still not a way, we're not talking, and every year lesser and lesser people are speaking Aymara or Quechua. But a good Aymara and a good Quechua, and nobody says anything about it. We have the community law, right? And we were supposed to respect that in the Constitution. But lately it has been disappearing. The community law is not any longer important. There is still the other law that is more important. So as far as I see, it's not working. I don't like the struggle that has been going on, because they tell you they want to kill you because you are Aymara, because you're Quechua, let's fight. And no, it is a problem of politics. And you defend a political party and you go to die. And people died in 2019 because political issues. And in the end, the people who took power, who said, la Pachamama nunca va a volver a entrar a este palacio.
With a big Bible.
With a big Bible, a huge Bible. Those people did nothing for the indigenous people. But the other ones didn't do anything either. They came, they used the Wipala and say, we respect it, but they are not respected. Because we still have poor people. And the poor people are not the white people, are not the Caras. The Caras work, they have professions. But my people, my siblings, my brothers and sisters, they're still suffering hunger, they're still starving, they're still poor, having lots of children. And that is something that makes me feel worried. Because when you go to the communities, there only live the old people. Why are they living the communities? Because there is not a way to live there. And why the government is not doing something for us to produce their culture, literature, or even products. The food we're eating, the potatoes that we're eating are from Peru.
Yeah.
So it is, at least for me, it makes me feel worried, because what's going on, I love to be an urban Aymara, but we need to remember the old community ways, the ayllus, and the sindicatos are destroying the ayllu. And then I heard an indigenous woman once told me, we were the slaves of the Spaniards. Then we became the slaves of the patrones in the Republic, and now we have become the slaves of the dirigentes.
Interesting.
And that makes me feel worried, because I think it is not something that belongs to politicians. We must not forget that, because they make us think that a political party represents the indigenous, and it's not true. The same thing was made as with the MNR. MNR told us, we are you, we represent you, but they betrayed us. The same thing happened with the liberals. José Manuel Pando, Pablo Zárate Vilca, he told him, Pablo, we are you, you are my people. And then they betrayed us.
And killed.
And they killed him. And we started Pongeaje, and Pongeaje was the most shameful thing that happened in the history of Republic. And who did that are the liberals, who said that they were our people, and the MNR sold our things. So I'm worried about it, because we are constantly being betrayed by politicians. So I don't believe in politicians, in any of them, not Aras, indigenous, I don't care, because it is some sort of mafia that has come. So who I believe in society. And I think that as Aymaras, as Quechuas, we need to rethink who we are. Not stay there in the time before the Spaniards came, or trying to go back there, because we can't. We no longer belong to those days. But trying to see the future. Societies who appreciate their past more than their future are committing big mistakes. We need to see to the future. And I think El Alto is doing a great job, because they're running, they have technology, they have food, they have culture, they have money. I love El Alto. I've been coming here by walking, and I say, dude, this place is heaven. We have many things, and I'm proud of El Alto, and I think El Alto has the answer to make Bolivia a big country, because I don't want a division. I don't want to say, this is Aymaras country and that is going to be Quechua's country, that is going to be the Aras, or the Aras go to your country. I don't believe in that. I believe we can be a big country, Bolivia, with Aymaras, Quechuas, Guaraníes, and Aras too, and everybody. And so we can celebrate who we are, as different as we are, as different as we think. But make this country big, and I think El Alto can do that.
Yes, exactly. It's a kind of joining. El Alto is a kind of new phenomenon, right? And so it's a kind of mixing their ancestor roots and visualizing the future with technology.
It reminds me of Istanbul. You know, Istanbul is in Turkey, and there they live Jew people, there live Muslim people, there live Catholics, and you see churches everywhere, and everybody lives quite peacefully. They think different, they come from different roots, but the economy is so powerful. There is not one single Chinese item there. Everything is made in Turkey. Turkey. Wow. Very cheap, good quality, excellent work. Nothing from China. And I would like Bolivia to be like that. El Alto to be a big center where everything has been done in Bolivia. Made in Bolivia, perfect quality. And people to come to our country and say, wow. And that was el modelo endógeno that was made by my parents. That is why I love the idea.
Yes, I think Carlos Palenque Avilés talked for a long time during his life. Leina, what do you think? The same question about El Alto, and could you comment us?
All right. I think, Aymara people here in El Alto, it's not in the future, it's in the present, because they speak in Aymara, they speak in the Spanish,
also
they have
English.
cell phones, also English,
Japanese too.
Oh, Japanese too.
Yeah, Japanese. I have friends who speak Japanese, and I am Chinese.
Yes.
Of course, to travel.
That's great.
We're cosmopolitan.
Yes, that's that. But they produce, for example, do you remember I don't remember this man, how...
Ronald Mamani, maybe?
No. He has a dictionary. I don't remember his name now.
Felix Laime.
Felix Laime, and he has a great dictionary in Aymara, right?
Yes, I know it.
And that is that I want. We produce in Aymara, right? We produce in Aymara, in English. And my view, for example, in the school is fight for the linguistic rights. And a student can speak in Aymara and Spanish, in English, why not? And he can be comfortable. For me, that's great. Or a girl came from to the school with a pollera, for example.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And so in your school, that happened in your school? No, in another school?
In other schools there are girls with the polleras, but in my school, sadly, I can see that my students, for example, like reggaeton.
Oh.
And the girls come with their, how can I say this, the rust pants. I think, but
movies or
videos.
That's that. But I really like, for example, a girl came with a traditional traditional vestment, with the traditional clothes,
Yeah.
and boys too. But in my school, they are ashamed to speak in Aymara, for example. Can you speak in Aymara?
Oh,
I
yes.
don't know, they said.
Yes.
But because they don't have that space, like me, for example. I think that. But I really want to create that space, and I'm fighting for that. Yeah.
For many spaces to...
Yeah, because here in El Alto,
Yeah.
many people speaks in Aymara and Spanish. It's very common. When you go to the market, the seller, yes, used to call you in Aymara, a la citage, they said, right?
Caucasa.
Apasimay, right?
Ukasti, yeah, right? Yes, you can speak too. And some people, they said, Miss, excuse me, where can I go? That, no? But you don't know how to speak in Aymara, for example. But some people understand, yeah? And it needs... It's necessary, I think, yeah? And I think that the space is created, but we need to continue to that, no? I explained that my teachers, yeah? Because it's necessary. It's not only knowledge, right? It's important to have our culture, to recover in our roots, and it's very important to practice that, because we are enjoy with that. Yeah?
Interesting. And so we are talking in the program called in Aymara Aruskipt'asipxañanakasakipunirakispawa through SEO TV, which is located in El Alto City. And so just this time, we are trying to talk the interview in English, because many people said, like Leina said, oh no, you just speak Aymara or something like that. Okay, and or some no you, but in the families, or some people say in that way, right? They say, but so we have a lot of categories in Aymara, like Hake, like Aru, like Aini, like Minka, or a lot of
Waki.
Yes, Waki. Yes, that's another category in Aymara, or like Kepnair Untasa, and checking or visualizing the past and the future. Okay, and so we have a lot of things to talk in Aymara, but I think it's maybe in the future we are going to continue, but to finish this program, I would like to talk about the future of Aymara. Zayuri, what do you think, or what's your visualization of the future of Aymara nation?
Well, I would like, as I said before, the Aymara people to be like the Japanese. I mean, to be able to freely choose whatever they want. I like individuality. That is not the same as individualism. It's not the same. Individuality is the ability you have to be yourself, with all your roots and with all your stuff, and to create yourself without having to worry about what is going to say my group. Because if we tend to believe there is one single model of Aymara people, I'm afraid that we're losing the way, for we're going to disappear.
Yeah.
Because nobody can be like a model, right? Something made and the same, like clones. We can't be clones. And so I think that is we need to work on. But I'm also worried because Western people takes new things easily. Actually, it's normal. But for us, modernity has always meant to quit something of your roots. For instance, in 1904, there was a decree that said every indigenous people must change their clothes. No more Aymaras wearing axus. No more paltas in the head.
Or the hat, or
anything,
cases,
right?
yeah.
Or for men, the poncho. And so women were forced to wear, or men with long hair. Women were forced to wear polleras, and men were forced to cut their hair. So the curas and the police went to the communities, and they said, okay, carajos, córtense sus cabellos. And they came and they cut the hair forcefully. and it was a big trauma. So for us, it's hard to stop in front of something new and say, okay, I'm going to take it, because we have all those memories that were forced into us, because Western culture has not come to us freely. It came to us in forced ways. So I think for the future we need to forget that. We need to go over it. That word that is used, I don't like it because it's quite modern and millennial, but the resilience, we need to take it aside, because it is not a handicap. It is making us, it is a problem, because all the time we said, let's not take it because they forced us and it's not good because we're going to lose our roots. No, now we are free. We can choose. But to choose rightly, we need to be educated. And that is why we speak English, but we are proud to be Aymaras, because we are educated. We had the fortune and we had the rebellion to go, because for us, for Aymaras, to be educated was a sin. To be educated was not good. We were forbidden. They used to say, there was this big man, Franz Tamayo, who people love, but who used to say, the Aymaras are like the dog, because their hand is like this. They cannot take the pencil. They can't hold the pencil, right? And
look now.
Look now. So I think that is the big rebellion we can give. Let's learn languages. Let's go to other countries. Let's see other cultures. But let's remember our roots. So I think the future of the Aymara is that. We don't have to be back, because they're here, we are here, they're in our genes. But let's see what good things of modernity we can take. And we can take it with a spirit, with a critic spirit. And we can say, we will take this, but this, no thank you. We love the net, we love to be connected, but we don't like what you're doing with garbage. We don't like what you are doing with this savage capitalism. And also, I think that is, we need to be careful, because if we take the ideas, the ideologies of Western people, for instance, capitalism, socialism, it's not good. We have our own thoughts, and I think we need to work on it. So let's see. I love that word of seeing Nairakepa, right? The front and back. And I think that is what will make us a great culture for the good of Bolivia, not just for our culture, for Bolivia.
Thank you, Zayuri. And how about Leina? What can you say about the future of Aymara nation?
I think how can I say this? Aymara nation have a great future, I think, but they need to culture, right? To grow up their culture, to not forget the feelings, the roots. I think that they need to produce, they need to write, they need to make more conventions. I don't know. They need to dance, they need to express, they need that space.
They need to Aruskipt'asipxañanakasakipunirakispawa.
Yes, that's right. Yes, but they need more of Aymara. Some years ago, I remember that I want to learn Aymara. So I asked for some classes. I asked, for example, at Infocal. It is too expensive to learn Aymara.
Yeah, that's right. We need free Aymara classes. The government should give us Aymara classes.
Yeah, that's
free.
right. Then I went to Radio San Gabriel to learn Aymara. So there I learned, but I paid for that. It's not expensive, but it's not cheap, right? So in the teachers' school, the 5 years I learned Aymara, but that is a critic for the teachers. Some of them don't teach very well.
Because they don't want to. Because there is big money when you translate Aymara to Spanish. And they don't want people to know. And that is bad.
But my best teachers in Aymara were my classmates. I had a friend called Amalia, for example. They teach me more Aymara than the other teachers.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was learning by my own. I learned a dictionary. I learned some books. I bought in the street, for example, there are something, and I bought that. I love to sing in Aymara. Yeah, and I love to watch something. There are movies in Aymara, but we need to do that. We need to do movies. We need to sing in Aymara. We need to make books. Yes, your translating is nice. It's excellent, Ruben. But we need to write our own history.
Yeah.
Yes. For example, how people used to learn Aymara before in the Bible.
Oh yes. Yeah.
That is
Aymaranaka.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's right. But what about the government? What they do for to learn Aymara to recover this culture? No, they don't care maybe.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But there are some institutions, for example, the Vice-Ministerio of Descolonization. But they do? What? Right? I think that they say only do this, and do this. But what did they do?
Yeah, for the society especially. Yeah, right.
Yes, but in the future, Aymara nation can be a unit nation, right? Can integrate maybe those countries where are Aymara people.
We are international.
Yes.
Aymaras international.
There are Aymaras in Argentina, in Chile, in Peru, yes, in Bolivia too. And I think that we can make a big confederation.
Yeah, maybe. Yes.
Yeah, it's possible, right? But I think like the Malco, for example, and Aymara need to recover their identity.
Yeah.
They need to be their own, but as you said, with personality. Yeah, not with just digamos, for example. You are an Aymara and you have to be a pollera woman, for example, right? Or you need to eat every day aftapi. No, not like this. An Aymara is an intercultural people, like you, for example. You speak Aymara,
Japanese.
English, Japanese, Latin. You said, right? And you are a great professional. And I think that. Right, and I think that if we are kind people, if we have ourselves, we can have that harmony we need. I think that.
Thank you, Leina. Thank you, Zayuri, and thank you, people who are following us. And so, in conclusion, we should say, Aymara and Quechua people, we survived until today, until this 21st century. And so, ukamato Aruskipt'a oyaptan Hilari-Jilalu kuyakanaka kun kamte kumanaka ist oyapta. Ukaw English aro ka inas yakipanaka ka hani unyap chinate ist up chinate. Inas makaw karunaka nakikising ka masasoy niya ni kinaka Zayuri.
Kapacha niya ni wali kusisetato porque acá hiwasan arusa parlaña kipuniwa. Naira pachan staika hampi, awicha hampi, wal palto. Hichasti pairi hiujeu, naya yakapacha yakistua, yakapacha larustua. Chikamachanyani acá hiwasan taki, hiwasan arunaka, hiwasan wilanaka, wilamasinaka. Uk munta. Ukatsti paisuma Ruben, paisuma Leina, Aruskipt'asipxañanakasakipunirakispawa, Parlañani, Mankañani, Hiwasan Arusa, Hiwasan Sarnakawi, Mankañani, Istañani, Untañani, Ukapi Aymar Hakenaka, Uka siglo XXI, un chukinataki.
Kaya kuyaka Zayuri. Kuyaka Leina, preparo na kama. Hikising kama sa sita.
Yes, hikising kama.
Ayo kama to Hilanaka kuyaka naka ayopta naka seote de Aymara o kanwa Aruskipt'asipxañanakasakipunirakispawa. Okay. Goodbye. Hiki sin cama. Adiós.
Mata a tode. Mata a tode.
Mata a tode.
It's not desayunar.
Mata a tode. Okay, mata a tode.
Wale in Latin.
Wale.
Okay.
Tengo una cama.
Hiki sin cama.
Hiki sin cama.